But until then, let's go to the NFL. And there was, as you heard, a big trade made between the Jets and the Carolina Panthers. And, that's the rumor or the discussion all offseason, Rob, has been, will the Jets move on? Should the Jets move on from quarterback Sam Darnold, who, of course, 3-4 years ago was the third pick in the draft? 4 years ago, third pick in the draft. Obviously, you're hearing all this stuff about Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, to all the guys below Trevor Lawrence, because everybody thinks Trevor Lawrence is a sure bet. We'll see. But all the hype that the other guys, Rob, are getting, that was Sam Darnold at the top. That was Sam Darnold, and now the Jets have moved on from him. Got three picks for him, not first round. 1 6th round this year, and then a second and a fourth round next year from Carolina. So it looks like all the reports are that they're going to take Zach Wilson from BYU with the second pick. Do you think, Rob, that this is, it's hard to, it's hard to analyze this, but do you think this was the right move by the Jets, or that Darnold will go to Carolina and resurrect his career and his promise?
Yeah, I'm just not ready to throw Sam Darnold out and think that he can't play. I just think the Jets are a mess, and they just didn't. I'm not positive who he really had around him, what the scheme was. Their head coach was bad. There's just a lot of bad things, and I just think this is typical of the NFL now. Just move on, grab the next guy. It's a crapshoot, Chris, with quarterbacks. Guys are drafting these quarterbacks and moving on from them. Guys go to the Super Bowl, they get traded away. This is where we are. And if a GM didn't pick the guy, right? Oh, that's not my guy. Go get the next guy. And who knows? I think it's really a crapshoot, but I'm not convinced Sam Darnold can't play. Too many people I respect in football liked him a lot, including TJ Houshmandzadeh, my partner on the podcast, who swears by Sam Darnold, who worked out with Sam Darnold, said this guy can play. This is a big-time receiver in the NFL. He knows if a guy can play or throw the football or whatever. So I'm not there yet, Chris. I just don't know. I'm wishing Sam Darnold the best. And you know what? Maybe he's a better situation that it didn't work out with the Jets and he can move on because things just haven't worked out there.
Yeah, as you said, look, it's hard to say. A guy not being great or very good in his first 3 years, I think so. Certainly you don't have to bury him. And that's the thing. That's the thing with a guy like Sam Darnold right now, because we've seen quarterbacks struggle early, and then resurrect their career a little bit later, and maybe Darnold will do that. I think there's several things at play here. One, the Jets, with a new coach, would have had to make a decision on Darnold right away. Like, he's going to make, do they pick up his option next year or not? It's worth $18.5 million. So you figure you got a new coach. He's working, even though Darnold's been in the league a while, they're going to have to develop a relationship. And is 1 year going to be enough time for you to settle on whether Darnold's your guy or not? And so I think what this does is they don't have to worry about that now. And then the clock resets. So you know how it is. You get a rookie quarterback. He's on a rookie deal. People start expecting less from you. Now, if it's Zach Wilson or whoever, people aren't expecting as much from the Jets now. And because it's a rookie quarterback, so it gives your coaching staff and your new quarterback time to grow together. And it makes the fan base be at least a little more patient. Even though we're talking about New York, they should be at least a little more patient. So I think it's easy for a franchise when you reset like this because it buys you more time. The other thing I'll say about Darnold, and he's shown promise, I liked him coming out of college. And he's had moments, but he hadn't had a lot. And we have seen other guys go to troubled franchises and show us more. Now, we've seen Jared Goff was showing us quite a bit, and you see what happened to him now.
Yeah, but we saw nothing out of him his first year. We thought he was a bust, and then they got a new coach, and they went to the Super Bowl. So I've seen Jared Goff both ways.
Now he goes the other way, at least in the Rams' eyes. So, I'm just saying, just because a guy starts out well, like a Joe Burrow, like a Justin Herbert, it doesn't necessarily mean that's who they are. Maybe, I think so. But as I said, we thought we knew who Jared Goff was. We thought we knew who Carson Wentz was. So you got to take a little time. But I do feel like I saw more from Burrow last year. I saw more from Herbert last year. Both of them in challenging situations, not good teams. Maybe not as bad as the Jets, but not good teams. Rob, you remember this? People were saying Burrow shouldn't go to Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I never bought into that. The people
but I'm just saying.
That, yeah, but I just thought that was ridiculous. Like the idea that's the whole premise of the draft is that the worst team gets the best player, right, Chris? That's the whole that's the whole premise of the draft. If the best players didn't want to go to the bad teams, you might as well abolish the draft. What would be the purpose of it? So that's why.
As we said about Burrow, if you're that guy, go there and turn it around.
And be the difference.
Right. And he did make a difference, but Darnold didn't. Now, it may turn out that it was Adam Gase's fault. It was the organization's fault. It was that he didn't have much help. But he didn't show me as much as Burrow and Herbert did. I mean, he didn't even complete 60% of his passes, which Rob, today is really poor. His interceptions to turnover or to touchdowns, it was darn near 50%, 45 touchdowns, 39 picks, which, again, in today's NFL is really poor.
Yeah, but
so I didn't see long stretches that impressed me like I did with some of these other young quarterbacks.
But I would ask you to name who their wide receivers are, they didn't even use the running back correctly. Like Gase didn't want them.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I mean, that should have opened up things for Darnold. They didn't even use him properly or correctly. It was a mess. And I'm not here. Darnold's numbers are nothing to write home about. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. So I get that. So I'm not going to sit here and act like he had these flashes or whatever. But I'm just not convinced that he can't play. Again, I'm going off of stuff that I've talked to with people who I respect in football, who say this guy can play and just needs the right opportunity and be in the right situation. So maybe this will work out for him. And for Carolina to make this move, it says a lot, right? I thought they had a quarterback. I guess not.
Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah.
They've been looking to replace old Teddy.
But Teddy got there. He just signed a contract last year.
Yeah, but
Chris, that was his first year there.
I mean, Teddy was one, Rob, that at a moment in time was beloved. Remember in Minnesota when he hurt his knee and players were crying?
No, it was bad.
Because he was such a great leader and, you know what I mean? Guys loved him. So the bottom line is it does take time with these young quarterbacks. Either way, if they're bad early, it doesn't necessarily mean they can't be resurrected because they're young. Some guys are going to pick stuff up earlier than other guys. Some guys are in better situations than other guys. And if they start hot, a la Carson Wentz, a la Jared Goff, I mean, he got going hot. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stay there. So you do need to be patient. My only thing with Darnold, and I was a guy, like I said, that liked him a lot coming out of USC, is I didn't see like long stretches or significant stretches of very good play. I saw a play here or there, a stretch, a short stint here or there, but I didn't see long stretches. And, like we said, the completion percentage, the yards per game, the interceptions to touchdowns, it was all subpar. And so we'll see what he can do there in Carolina. But the Jets, like I said, it gives them a new lease on life, Rob. This coaching staff now, it's not we got to do it right away. I mean, obviously they want to.
No, but it's in their best. See, this is the problem with fans and how fans get screwed. I'm just going to say it, Chris, because this isn't about the Jets winning. It's about giving the new general manager, who didn't draft Darnold, the general manager,
right, for sure.
and the new coach time, so that people can't say that.
Right.
We just got him. We just drafted him. This gives them 3 or 4 years to have a job. It's a sellout of fans.
Because the GM didn't.
It's a sellout of fans.
He didn't hire Gase either. Remember?
No.
So now he can be like, I got my own coach and I got my own quarterback. Now
you
give
know
me
what I'm
3
saying?
years.
It's a sellout. It's a sellout of fans. And Chris, I'm not saying that they don't think these guys can play, but it's better. They're better off starting fresh rather than taking something and fixing it or working with it. They just are. And that's the problem that I have is for Jet fans who haven't won a Super Bowl since 1969. Here we go, another reboot. Here we go, another promise of maybe we'll win in 4 or 5 years. It's just the same old thing.
I totally agree that it buys the new regime time. I don't think it's selling out the fans because it wasn't. I mean, we don't know what it would have been with Sam Darnold. I mean, again, he didn't show us too much to latch on to, so I don't think it's selling out the fans.
Yeah, but you also don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, you could sit here all day.
But I mean, you're not impressed enough with Darnold.
No,
I mean,
but the next guy could
would keep him.
No, but the next guy could be a bust, and then what? Okay, now we're gonna get somebody. I'm just saying, 2 years from now, who was the guy that they had in Arizona? The quarterback they drafted, Josh Rosen, after 1 year. On a bad team without a lot of weapons, Chris, they blew him out and got Kyler Murray. And
but
guess
that
what?
Wasn't selling out fans.
No, but my point is that it was just 1 year. They barely gave him any time, and they decided they're going to make a move because what they did, they got a new coach. They got a new coach in Cliff Kingsbury.
But I'm just saying, I think selling out the fans will be, say, if Green Bay moves on from Aaron Rodgers after this season. That would be selling out fans to me. But Darnold just hadn't shown enough, to latch on to him. And I'm sure if he did, they would keep him. So that's why I wouldn't characterize that. But you're right. I agree. It does buy them time. That's for sure. All right. Is Darnold to blame for his poor tenure in New York with the Jets, or are the Jets to blame? And he'll be very good elsewhere.
Thomas in Iowa, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Thomas?
Hey, man, thanks for getting me on the air, dude.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I'd say it's the best of both. Like, I think the Jets are cursed, the ownership group. I think
Thomas, hold on. We want you to pick one.
Oh, pick one? It's the Jets. It's got to be the Jets.
And why?
The players surrounding him, the coach and staff, he was doomed to fail when he got there.
Okay,
Nothing got better.
So you think he'll be good in Carolina?
I think a change in scenery. Look at Mark Brunell when he went to Atlanta to Jacksonville, Brett Favre when he went to Green Bay. I think a change of scenery would do good for him.
All right. We will see.
No doubt. I mean, it ain't a given, but we'll see. Brandon in Dallas, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, what's up, Chris? What's up, Rob?
How are you?
What's up, man?
Doing great. Hope y'all are having a great night.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Hey, before I speak on this Sam Darnold situation, I just want to talk about a beef that I have with iHeartRadio. For about the past year and a half, I've been catching the Odd Couple podcasts on iHeartRadio when I can't catch the show.
Right.
And for the last week, they haven't had the podcast on. I don't know what's up with that.
You know what? I think it's because of our guy, Elijah, who's our social media guy. He's been on vacation for 2 weeks.
Should have been up.
I'm guessing. Elijah, can you text me and tell me if that's what happened so I can explain to people?
I was posting it on my Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to find it.
All right,
okay.
But go ahead. Where you at on Darnold?
But about Sam Darnold, and really, I think any quarterback, no matter how great a prospect he is going to have an uphill battle in New York as for the Jets. But I'm putting this one on Adam Gase. You know, I think everybody has, for a while, have said that he's a quarterback whisperer and can do wonders with
I'm
quarterbacks.
wondering why.
And he
Yeah,
might
they've
could
been
do
saying
that as an offensive coordinator, but not as a head coach.
And you know what?
He's shown that he's a detriment.
And you know what? Tannehill was terrible. He had no use for Tannehill, right? And what did he do when he left?
Yeah, and he was a big prospect coming out of A&M. He goes there and does nothing. Now he makes playoff runs for Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just don't know. Adam Gase I just don't see. I couldn't believe the Jets hired him, Chris. And
he was being called. He was being called the quarterback whisperer, Rob, as the OC. But he has some good quarterbacks too.
Yeah, I guess that really had more to do
some
with
of those guys.
Keith in New Orleans, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Keith?
Uncle Rob, Uncle Chris, how are y'all?
Doing good.
How are you?
I was married to Monday. I'm feeling benevolent today. You know, I may go, you know, give a little contribution.
Is that
People
right?
getting fired for stuff like that, man.
I was gonna say, Chris told me I better be careful. I'll be off the radio if they get me on
Paul
IG.
Pierce.
If they get me on
Listen,
IG,
Get into that,
Chris, you ain't never seen me on no IG, have you?
No.
But listen, guys, I'm going to go with Sam Darnold as the most to blame. The reason being because he was the same kind of quarterback at USC. I mean, just exciting but reckless.
Interceptions, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was reckless. And think about USC. Most of the time he lined up with the best players against, you know what I mean? So, and then with the Jets, he became injury prone. He got mono and got, you know, so I just think that, you know, he's a big part of the blame for what the Jets did. But you know something? Adam Gase is absolutely awful. He should ever get another head coaching job ever in life.
I can't see him get another head coaching job after that.
I wouldn't.
He'll
think
get a
so.
job in the league because he got nothing but friends, and they all hire each other, Chris, when they get put out of work.
And I'm fine if he gets a job somewhere.
But a head
But
coach?
a head job? No. Stop it.
Yep. Max in Georgia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, my guys? Always a pleasure. Thank you, Rob G, for getting me on. I'm going to try to nail this. So I'm Max in Georgia. I lived in Charlotte before, so I'm familiar with the Panthers. My dad is a Jets fan, has been forever. I told him when they drafted that kid that he was not really worth the draft paper they drafted him on. I never believed that. This is an indictment on all college quarterbacks. When you look at the last 10, 20 years, you've got a few that you can think of that were notable and worthy. But most of them coming from these programs, their programs are so solid all around that their quarterback is not what people think they are when they draft him. They draft him, Alabama's, Ohio State. Think about all those quarterbacks.
Well,
they're not worth
Watson,
it. So,
Deshaun Watson from Clemson.
Clemson, though. That's Clemson. And
Yeah,
let me
but
just
I'm
say
saying
this,
they
if I
were
can.
stacked around him.
But look what he's done. I mean, he didn't, he hasn't had a chance, and he may not get another chance now with everything going on in his life. But let me just say this, if I could, too. When you said, Chris, I think you mentioned, is this a bad move for the Panthers? Are they selling out as a fans group? I think it kind of is. David Tepper is the richest NFL owner in the league. And you look at Steve Ballmer. He's the Steve Ballmer of the NFL. Steve Ballmer has made drastic moves to win and put them in contention.
Right.
What has this guy done? You signed McCaffrey, but other than that, what has he done? The quarterbacks are a carousel. What has he really done? That's all I got to say, guys. I appreciate your time.
All right, Max.
All right.
Appreciate
That's
it.
Max in Georgia, our man.